I want to talk about Revelation chapter 11 where I left off. Chapter 11 and verse 7. Verse 7 says, let me see here. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. You see, first the two witnesses have to finish their testimony. See, before that beast government could not do them nothing. See, because that's God's will, and they had to finish their testimony. So you can go to, then that beast will kill them. That false prophet and his armies, them 10 horns. You can go to where it says, shall overcome them and kill them. It goes to Daniel chapter 7 and 21 and Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 2. Now you can turn to Daniel. First we go to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 21. But I'm going to start in verse 20. And verse 20 says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, you see, he had 10 horns in his head. Those 10 kings. And of the other which came up, that was the false prophet. He came up among those 10 kings. All right. And before whom 3 fell. See, he plucked up these 3 beasts who he was with. Even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose looks were more stout than his fellows. I beheld, verse 21 said, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. See, he made war with the saints as that false prophet. He's the one that came up among those 10 kings. See, it's very clearly, anybody can see that the false prophet is the Antichrist. He's the man of sin, the false prophet. He's the Antichrist and the man of sin. They're all the same. Now these false prophets make believe that the Antichrist is a separate leader. The Antichrist is the false prophet. Now anybody can see that who read the Bible clearly. See, he the one that made war with the saints. It tells you right here, he made war, that horn, that little horn that made war with the saints. The horn that came up among those 10 kings. He the one that made war with the saints. You can see in Revelation chapter 13, he made war with the saints. See, he the one that caused people to worship the image. He told the people to make an image and that they shall worship that image of the beast. See, and the people made that image. He told that whosoever shall not bow down and worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he the one that caused the people to receive the mark of the beast. That is the false prophet. He is the Antichrist. Don't let nobody fool you, deceive you. These false prophets be deceiving people. And you turn to Zechariah, I think it's Zechariah 14. Zechariah 14. 14 and 2. Zechariah 14 and 2 says, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity." See, the city will go forth. That's when they kill the two witnesses. And the city will go forth into captivity. Like for 3.5 years. And the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. See, you read like in verse 3 said, "And then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as he fought in the day of battle." See, after 3.5 years. You see, a lot of people think when Jerusalem going to be taken over, it's going to be the battle of Armageddon. No, Jerusalem going to go into captivity first for 3.5 years. In the first Babylon, they went into captivity 70 years. You know, and this time it could be 3.5 years. And then after, the Lord could go forward and fight against those nations which came up against Jerusalem. It tells you that in Zechariah, the same chapter, in Zechariah 14, you can start around verse 12. It tells you that on down. Then the Lord will go forward and fight against those nations which came against Jerusalem. See, you have to read and think a little bit. You know, you think like everything all happened at one time when Jerusalem would be taken over. This is the battle of Armageddon. You know, that's why the Lord said there'll be many false prophets. Jerusalem got to go into captivity first for 3.5 years. And then the Lord could go forward and fight against those nations, like in the battle of Armageddon. That could be the last battle. It's like in, I think, Joel chapter 3, you know, in the battle of Jehoshaphat, you know, in Armageddon. You read in Revelation. But like I said, this here is that's when the tribulation starts. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken. See, this is the start. That's when they kill the two witnesses, and then they're gonna set up the abomination, and the city gonna be taken over. You know, that's why the Lord tells them to flee to the mountain. You know, they're going to flee to the mountain like for 3.5 years. God will have a place prepared for His people. And He tell the people that are not in the country to not to come in the country. You know, not to go into Israel. Come to Israel. So you got to stop listening to these false prophets and read for yourself. Read the Bible for yourself and get an understanding. See, there's many false prophets. Now in verse 8 in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, and said, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. You see, the city could become like Sodom and Egypt because the city is full of homosexuality and everything else. You see, it's like in Egypt, images and all that, statues and homosexuality, you have all that in the city. Everybody be doing wrong, you know, because it could be trodden down by the Gentiles. And say, and verse 9 say, and they of the people and kindred and tongue and nation shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. See, and their bodies gonna lie in the street for 3 days and a half, and they ain't gonna suffer them to be buried, and the people gonna be rejoicing, you know, because they killed the two witnesses, because The two witnesses was tormenting the people. The people don't want to hear the truth. It's like now the people don't want to hear the truth no more. You know, they done got too far gone. You know, they call you evil and all the time. They be doing evil. They don't want that's evil. They call good evil and evil good. It's like being homosexual. Say there's nothing wrong with that. I'll be what I want to do. I'll do what I want to do. Adultery, fornication, everything. You know, everything goes now. Abortion, everything. There's nothing wrong with it. They want to have it the same. Pass law and make it right. And the people accept it. You know. But that's just how the world works. They call good evil, evil good. See. They don't have no fear of God anymore. You know. But that's what I wanted to bring to y'all today. The two witnesses are going to be killed. You know. They're killed be like before the tribulation start. They're going to kill the two witnesses. You know, and then they're going to set up the abomination that make it desolate. Jerusalem going to be taken over. You know. But as the Antichrist, you know, a false prophet will get targeted to kill the two witnesses. But they won't be able to do the two witnesses nothing before that. You know, until they finish their testimony, then they will make war and kill the two witnesses. That's what you read about in Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 2. And you read about it in Daniel chapter 7 and verse 21. And the same horn made war with the saints. You know. Because it will tell you that you can read down in Daniel, I think in Daniel 2, after it says the same horn made war with the saints. It's until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. You see. The fourth beast, the false prophet will be the head of that fourth beast. Because you read in verse 24, it tells you the same thing. And the 10 horn out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. And another shall arise after them. See, you always say another shall arise after them. See, because verse 7 in Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7 and 8 is the same as verse 20 and verse 24. It just explains it just a little different, but it's saying the same thing. You go over it yourself, you can see what I'm saying. Verse 7 of chapter 7, verse 7 and 8 is the same as verse 20 and verse 24. And you read down verse 25 after you read, but I'm going to read the whole thing. And I'm going to quit. And the 10 horn out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. See, he's saying the same thing as in verse 20. And it's in verse 7 and 8. It's the same. And verse 25 saying, he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. See, as that false prophet, he gonna think to change times and laws. Is that single beast? It's not the 10 horn beast. It's that single beast. Because in verse 4, he's talking about the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be, see, talking about him, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words. In verse 25 says that the Bible tell you that. He's talking about the false prophet. The little horn came up among those 10. See, and he plucked at them other 3 beasts who he was with, because he was among the 3rd beast. There was the leopard. So, but that's all I wanted to speak to y'all today. I'm going to get back and And Revelation chapter 11 next time again. Probably be around verse 9 or 10, somewhere around there. Thank you. May God bless you.